This is my path, my journey. I'm willing to explain it all to you guys. No holding back anything. I just hope you're ready for the experience, and I just hope you can handle it.
Disclaimer. This video was intended for an adult audience only. Viewer discretion is advised. Anything you see in this video, do not attempt to recreate. This video was created for documentation purposes only. Our purpose is education. We are not justifying or glamorizing using substances. What we are doing is educating people on the substances that we have used and what it has done for us. Do not recreate or do not redo the substances we have done just because we talk about it.
When times get rough, I use the rough times as motivation. I use the hard fucking grind as something that motivates me. I get motivated by the dark side, like I get motivated by the light side. I get motivated by both because for majority of my life, I've learned from the bad side because that was my life. That's what was around me. That's what I don't know. That was my perspective. Because what was around me, as kids, we could think about our childhood and be like, yeah, our childhood was kind of fucked up, because everyone had a fucked up childhood in their own right and in their own way. But it's just, your pain is not different or stronger than my pain, and my pain is not different or stronger than your pain. The situation is different, but the pain remains the same. It is just pain. I think that we like to think that nobody knows what we're going through. We like to think that, you know, my life is my life and you won't understand because you didn't live my life, and that's not true, because we as a human race, you know, can understand each other if we open up. Now, somebody that says you don't understand me, it's because they haven't took the time to explain who they are. You know, well, if somebody says, you know, they don't understand, you know, me personally, then, you know, I would take the time to, you know, be like, well, this is why I do what I do if you don't understand it, and you don't have to agree. And, you know, don't get me wrong. And a lot of times, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to explain yourself of why you do what you do. But what I'm just saying is, I think that the human race has so much potential. You have so much potential inside of you. But potential is just that. It's potential. It's not progress. When you have potential mixed with drive, with progress, then I feel like you have a nice trio that can get you moving somewhere. Because I've always been a goal-oriented person. That doesn't mean you have to always be a goal-oriented person. But if you're just somebody that has, you know, decided, yo, I want to do this with my life, or I want to do that, or if you're just somebody that's like, yo, you don't know what the fuck you want to do, but you know damn well you do not want to do what you keep doing now, then what I did is I looked in the mirror, I looked at myself, I looked at my life, I looked at what was bringing me the most unhappiness and what was bringing me the most happiness, and I balanced the things like, what's bringing me unhappiness that's not going to benefit my life in the future, cut that shit out. What's bringing me unhappiness that is going to benefit my life in the future, or my family's life in the future, or my friend's life in the future, then you should still work on that shit. Because I think that, honestly, we're living in a world full of people who are, like, I don't like to see these type of terms, because it's like, I'm coming from a loving standpoint, but at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of people in the world that haven't had enough tough love. You know, it's like, when somebody gets tough love, they can't handle it. A lot of people can't handle criticism. A lot of people can't handle being told the truth. A lot of people can't handle like all this shit, and you know that old saying, if you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen type shit. But nah, fuck that. If you can't take the heat, you better learn how to deal with it, is what it should say. And it's like, because I feel like we have to face our demons. The one thing I learned from the most in life is fear. I learn a lot from fear. Better off, yeah. What I mean, I guess, is I learn a lot from facing my fears, because I have a lot of fears in life. You know, I'm very, I don't know, like, to be honest, I'm very fearful, okay? Like, but I know myself. As much as I'm very fearful, is also on the opposite end, I have a lot of courage, because I know myself. So it's like, I know that, yeah, I have fears that come up. But what I love to do is face those fears. Because facing those fears for me is like an adrenaline rush. It's like a fucking euphoric adrenaline rush where I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna do this even though I'm scared. Fuck this shit. I'm gonna keep going even though nobody tells me, everyone says it's not gonna work. I don't really care what they say, you know, or fuck that. Like, for me, it's like I know myself so well that it's like that's just that's just who I am. Who I am deep down at my personal core is somebody that knows what he believes in, and I'm going to keep pushing to doing what I believe in. And I think people just need to find themselves. We as a human race need to find ourselves. It's like I'm not completely found yet. I still haven't completely found myself. Like, you'll never completely, you know what I mean? That's just like people think that when you turn 18 you're grown. It's like, no. Being grown is a mindset. It's all a mindset. Life is a mindset. Life is dictated on the mindset that you have. You could be going through a fucked up situation, but it could not even be touching you. I mean, this is what the Buddhist monks, like, look at the monks. This is what the monks do, okay? The monks literally remove themselves from reality. I mean, wanting pleasures. They remove themselves from pleasures, from things. Like, I watched, you know, a couple videos on a few people that, you know, went to a monastery and went through this and tried to become a monk, and just, I don't know, I've been doing some research on things like that, and like I've been coming across just people that have been in that life, and it's like they remove them, they put themselves through the pain so they can gain. And I feel like that's, as a human race, what we're kind of built to do. We're built to use, like, for me, that's what I do. I use pain as motivation. Like, pain drives me. It drives me. And it's insane, right? I mean, for me, it's insanity. I know it's insanity for other people, because it's like, some people don't understand what it's like to be driven by just the pain, the dirt, getting punched in the fucking face with reality. Like, that's what I love to do. I love to get punched in the face with reality, because give it to me straight. You know what I mean? If you give it to me straight, I'll be able to change my ways. If you give it to me straight, I'll be able to see the picture clearly. And that's what I'm trying to do here, is I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to expand my consciousness, I'm trying to expand my mental awareness on reality, on myself, on, you know, just many different things. And it's like, I think that, I don't know, you just have to know yourself. I know who I am, and because I know who I am, nobody can tell me who I am. And it's the same with you. Like, if you know who you are, nobody can tell you who you are. Like, but it's like, oh man, I forget who fucking said it. I don't even know if I should say it, because I'm probably gonna butcher the hell out of that thing. But one dude said, I wish I knew his name, but fuck, I probably won't even be able to say it because I don't want to fuck it up. He was basically saying that, now paraphrasing, so yeah, but he was basically saying, I am who I think you think I am. No, that's what he was saying. Now let me repeat that. He said, I am who I think you think I am. So basically, it's like I'm not who you think I am. I'm not who I think I am. I am who I think you think I am, is what the dude said. And I'll probably try to edit that in there, who said that. But nah, I really think that that was real, because I think that we have to know ourselves. We have to observe ourselves from many different points of view. And that's what I do with a lot of things I do in my life. I observe reality from another point of view. I observe my consciousness from another point of view. Observe my thoughts and reality and myself from another point of view. So when you look at yourself from another point of view, you can see you for who you really are. And you know, I seen the things that should stick with me and seen the things that should not. And the one thing I did see that should stick with me, that a lot of people will disagree, is my disobedience. I'm very against the grain. I'm very going against the current. I'm very doing the opposite of what majority of people do. I try to do things that are very taboo. I try to do things that most people wouldn't want to do. They're not, like, because I just think that I'm willing to push the boundaries, because I'm almost experimenting with my own life, right? Because I know all these philosophies that I've learned from psychedelics. I know all these philosophies that I've learned from philosophers and spiritual teachers, and me and my friends diving deep with these psychedelics and together, you know, and just learning together, bouncing ideas back and forth. And, you know, it's like, I feel like I've learned a lot. And what I'm trying to do now is literally trying to apply, it's not even just that knowledge though, it's also the knowledge that I've learned from like watching people like Gary Vaynerchuk and Tom Bilyeu and Evan Carmichael and Tony Robbins, I mean, fucking Grant Cardone. There's so many people that I've learned from, you know, and obviously the first person I learned from before any of that was Terrence McKenna and Dennis McKenna, and, you know, the Joe Rogan experience and the podcast that he had with Aubrey Marcus and, you know, Dennis, and like these are, you know, and Jason Silva. I can go on forever with all these names, you know, Infinite Waters, you know, The Awakened Brave, like even my friend Quantum Kitty, like when I was watching her videos, like, I mean, I learned about Ormus from her, like, but it's like, I've learned so many things from so many people, and I've intake so much knowledge from so many things. Now, I intake from people, I intake from the psychedelic experiences, which is my own personal mind, my own personal thing. And then after the psychedelic experience, I started learning from other people, you know, or seeing their points of view, also seeing other people's points of views on psychedelics and things. But the way that I've learned all this, I'm trying to, okay, now it's good to know. It's good to know, right? But what the fuck does it matter if you know if you're not doing anything with what you know? If Tom Bilyeu said, knowledge isn't power, used knowledge is power. And that's so fucking real. And like, when he said that, that's when I started thinking, okay, it's great. Like, interdimensional knowledge is great. Okay, elves singing and objects into creation, awesome. That's what we are, okay. Reality isn't what it seems, great. Let's break out the matrix and show people reality, okay, great. Thoughts create reality, good. But you know all this, but if you're not doing anything with it, then how do you really know how do you know if you've never done it? You know what I mean? You could see other people do it, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, I feel like we have to, what I'm trying to do with my life is, it's almost like an experiment, because I'm trying to experiment to see if this shit fucking works on reality. If it really works. Does it really work? People say thoughts create reality, but I understand that it's deeper than thoughts create reality. It's that thoughts, there's first a thought, then a thought becomes an action, then that action becomes reality. And that's how it fucking happens. So I understand that. So I understand that it's all about the action. So that's why I've been trying to implicate with just actions and actions and actions, and just working hard and just going hard, because right now I'm 24 years old. Realistically, I'm very young. So realistically, I can work myself hard as a motherfucker for the next 10 years and I'd still be very young. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like people want short-term gain, and I understand what all these people are talking about, and that's why I watch all these people. I don't watch these people because necessarily, I don't know, I'm trying to be something else. I watch these people because they remind me of who I am. They remind me of the deep down person I am at the core. You know what I mean? It's like Gary Vaynerchuk, the way that he is, like, with whatever, he kind of reminds me of who I was before I started using psychedelics. Like, I was a little outspoken more. You know, psychedelics and meditating and, you know, and the spiritual path, it kind of humbles you a little bit, right? But it's like, I don't know, I feel like that we have to have more confidence in ourselves. That's why killing the ego isn't a great thing, because we shouldn't be worried about killing our ego. We should be worrying about learning how to have self-control to balance the ego with the consciousness, like yin and yang. And once we balance ourselves out, then, you know, we'll be good. But like I said, I'm trying to implicate all this knowledge into my life, and I'm just trying to embody it. And if I can embody it, if I can just show people, because it's show and prove, right? If we really want to, there's so many people that say they want to change the world. There's so many people that say they want to make an impact. They want to make a difference. They want to, you know, I don't know, inspire people. They want to be motivational speakers. They want to, whatever they want to do with that type of thing. I didn't necessarily ever want to be a motivational speaker or a, you know, anything like that. It's just, I just want to show people the way that I live. This is how I live. This is how I think. This is what I go through in my mind and life. And yeah, and I just want to show people that, yeah, I guess now, see, now in my life, it's like, I guess it's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind showing other people that there is other options. You know what I mean? Where it's like, there is another way of living. You can live whatever the fuck way you want to live. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. Whatever your heart is set on, you can do that. But you are the only reason why you don't do that. Life is all dictated on you, just like my life is all dictated on me. There's nothing else. We can't keep blaming we can't keep blaming our parents, or blaming, you know, our family members, or blaming our significant others, or blaming our I don't know. You blame so many, like, I used to blame so many. I used to blame my mom, my dad. I used to blame, oh, it's this, it's that, it's this person, it's that, but that's why my life's fucked up, or this is why I'm the way I am. And it's like, no, I am the way I am because I refuse to look at myself. Now that I look at myself, I can, I don't know, I guess, call myself out more. You know what I mean? It's like these videos help me. This is what I mean. This is just what works for me. You might not be somebody that could make videos like I make. You know what I mean? I make a lot of videos, like, and I don't release enough of them at the time, like, because I literally got 20 fucking videos that I need to upload. But it's like, it's just, what I'm trying to say is that I think that I'm just trying to be me, and if I can be me, then maybe other people will see that it's okay to be you. And I think there's a point in our human life as growing up as kids where we forget who we are. Some people do. There is a part of myself that I never forgot. That part of myself that was disobedient, that did not listen, that got in trouble, that failed at school, because I was too focused on making music, too focused on writing songs, and I skipped class to go record songs because I taught myself how to record, you know, when I was like 13, and my dad helped me record my first songs, you know, and I taught myself how to record, and started making beats, and, you know, started using these programs, and I wanted to do that instead of go to school. And like, that part of me that was doing that from the time I was very young never left. And because that part of me never left, that makes me think that that's who I am. That's part of my soul. That's part of my core, is that authority is a lie. Authority is not real. Terrence McKenna said that, but I never really felt it until I realized that, dude, I mean, you could ask my mom, I've always been like that, like, ever since I was young, you know, I don't know. And it's never changed. I've always been aware. I've always been observant enough to realize that, well, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to be unhappy, and most people are unhappy. I was observant to realize that a lot of people were stressed. I mean, I'll get into that another time, but I don't know. Life is interesting, and, but I use all of it as motivation. I choose to look at my past, and I choose to think of the good shit. I choose to not remember the bad shit. Like, I could barely remember the bad shit. You want to know why? Because, well, one, I've like, the way I use psychedelics, I'm trying to, like, intake as much knowledge as possible. But my friend Fi described it as a funnel, where it's like, it's big at the top, right? You have all this information at the top, and then it all funnels down, and you can only bring back a small amount through that funnel. And yeah, but speaking about Fi, go check out his YouTube channel, The Eye of Fi. I think he's almost to 100 subscribers. That'd be dope. But yeah, I'll leave a link. But I'm gonna end the video though. But yeah. Also, if you guys wanted to check out me and my friend Fi, we have a podcast called the Mind Abyss Podcast. I'll leave a link in the description below for that as well, the YouTube channel and the BitChute channel. Because if anything ever happened on YouTube, I'd probably move to BitChute and Minds. But yeah, but that's another story for another time. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.